The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Stephen A. Smith, who has often questioned the Jets, now seems to be packing the New York Jets. Let's talk about what he said and whether or not he's right. It's the Jake Asman Show on a solar eclipse Monday. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
Here we go, buddy.
Let's go, baby. Good luck to the Irish, baby. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Jet fans.
Joe Douglas knows what he's doing.
You know what? I should probably mix in a water sip, too, so I got you.
We won too many games. We're not going to get Joe off.
I'm wearing the chain, baby. Last time this was worn, it was you. Oh, you got a TOJ glass there?
Oh, yeah.
So let's go! Hey, let's go. Salute, Dio. I love it.
Let's go, bro.
All right, I'll have a sip of water. Just kidding. Sight. Let's go, ladies.
I don't know what the hell y'all doing. Oh, Tyron Smith gonna be mauling all you motherfuckers in the division next year. Oh.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We had Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button for love. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Protect your eyes. Solar eclipse is on the way. Welcome in, everybody. Show number 2 on the day. If you missed it earlier, Cole Thompson joined us for another 7-round mock draft. We tried really hard to trade up and trade down, but a very plausible scenario happened. We couldn't make a deal. We could not make a deal. Go back and watch why we couldn't make a deal. And you could see the scenario Joe Douglas might be faced with in just 17 days and what the pivot at that point would be. It is, of course, a solar eclipse Monday. So get your solar eclipse glasses on and let's make it a hell of a day. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as we are quickly approaching 37,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everyone who takes time every day to watch the show. Stephen A. Smith on First Take the other day had some interesting comments about the New York Jets in a debate with Chad and Sharp on who the favorites are in the AFC East. This was Stephen A., dare I say, backing the New York Jets.
Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. Let's not forget that.
He used to be.
He's a bad man. Stop that. See that? That's blasphemous. That is blasphemous. That's blasphemous. Just stop it right now. No, he's a bad brother. Come on now. I bet you this. He damn sure ain't Zach Wilson. He damn sure ain't that. Okay, let's get that out the way, okay? So we got this, right? You got a number 2. You got a number 2 receiver with Mike Williams now. Coming off the ACL, I recognize that, so health is an issue. Assuming he's healthy, a viable number 2 to Garrett Wilson being your number 1 option, okay? You improve. You got 3 new offensive line starters. You got a defense that was ranked 3rd, 12th in scoring defense, despite having the 2nd worst offense in the entire National Football League. And then I'm looking at Buffalo and some of the changes they're talking about making. We know Miami is allergic to inclement weather. We know that when they're playing in the beautiful sunshine of Florida, and I would know because I was just there, Shannon, and it was a beautiful sunshine. Ain't no doubt about that, okay? When you're playing in the beautiful sunshine, near South Beach, it's a different world when you go away from that. And so I don't believe in Miami because of that reality. The Jets got a chance, bro, and I'm telling you right now, if you're telling me that everybody's going to be healthy, I would pick the Jets to win the AFC East this year. I really would.
You see what you did, Stephen A? Oh, they got a chance. You know they have the lottery drawing 3 times a week. I got a chance. I ain't won shit.
Did you play? Did you play? You just say that you want to. You know, you're lying. You're lying.
Well, here's the thing. Of course the Jets have a chance, right? But as Stephen A. kind of breaks down there, who are you picking if not the Jets? You can't pick Miami. I'm sorry. Tell all the Dolphin fanboys their team is vastly overrated and has gotten worse this offseason. To me, you're either picking the Jets or you're picking the Bills. And if you pick the Bills, that's fine. They're still the Vegas favorites, but you're picking the Bills strictly because of Josh Allen and their history. Well, runs come to an end. And I'm sorry, the Jets have beaten the Bills the last 2 years with Zach Wilson at quarterback. The Dolphins went 1-5 against teams with a winning record. So, yeah, if you tell me everyone gets hurt for the Jets again, sure, they're not going to win. But I think what Stephen A said at the beginning of that video is kind of being lost by a lot of people. People are talking about like Aaron Rodgers is like not a lock to be good anymore. He's still a bad man. Aaron Rodgers is still a guy that could go out there and be a top 10 quarterback in this league. They bring up his last full year like it's some sort of slight. He played with a broken thumb on his throwing hand and with a bunch of inexperienced weapons. It had gotten stale in Green Bay. And Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago was the MVP of the league. Let's not forget that. And he's playing with a better supporting cast in New York, better roster than he had during that last MVP season he had in Green Bay. So, yeah, maybe age is taking a toll on Rodgers, but that's not what I heard from people who saw him at practice coming off this Achilles in December. So even if he's not MVP Rodgers, I think we've gotten to a point where is it possible to say Aaron Rodgers is actually underrated now nationally? Like people are sleeping on the Jet quarterback, as crazy as that is. All the talk about Rodgers is things not having to do with football, which I think a lot of it is nonsense that people bring up to discredit him or try and paint him as some sort of boogeyman or villain, which he is not. Chris Canty, Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, etc. But I think Aaron Rodgers has almost become underrated. He's not Zach Wilson. Steven's right. This team won 7 games in spite of Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian. So, we could say if healthy, I'd pick the Jets. I think the health thing is a little overrated from the standpoint that every year we could say a team, if healthy. You know what it is? If their quarterback stays healthy. If the Chiefs lost Patrick Mahomes for the whole season, they wouldn't win their division either. They wouldn't. No team can win with a backup for a full season. That's what the Jets had to try and do last year, and they only won 7 games. But once again, I'll use the Buffalo Jet fan line at all of you. If I told you at the beginning of last year the Jets would lead the NFL in injuries on the O-line, they'd lose Aaron Rodgers on the opening drive of the season, they would start a quarterback room that featured one of the biggest busts in NFL history in Zach Wilson, one of the worst quarterbacks to ever play in Tim Boyle, and a journeyman third stringer in Trevor Siemian. How many games would you think they'd win? You probably wouldn't have said 7. At most, you probably would have said 7, especially with the schedule the Jets had at the beginning of the year. So I say all that to then say, the team's not that far away. Yeah, if health's the biggest thing, but God forbid there is an injury to Rodgers and he has to miss, let's say, 3 to 4 games. Tyrod Taylor could go 2-2 or better. 3-1. This defense has improved with Hassan Reddick. I'm still expecting another level of production from Sauce Gardner, another level in production from Jermaine Johnson. I'm expecting Will McDonald to give this team more. I'm expecting Quincy Williams to continue his growth as a great player. DJ Reed, as of now, is playing for a contract. A lot of things I can point to and feel pretty good about this Jets team. People talk about, will Rodgers stay healthy? Will Tua stay healthy? I think that's a fair question. Could Tua put together 2 straight years in a row where he's healthy? See, like Aaron Rodgers doesn't have an injury history. So, look, if the Jets don't win the AFC East, I think it's a huge disappointment. Now, if they make the playoffs and go on a run, yeah, I'll quickly get over not winning the division. But I think for the goal of this team's season here, I think anything less of winning the AFC East should be looked at as a disappointment by Jet fans. And that might be crazy to say because they haven't won the division since the 2002 season. But you know what? If not now, then when? When are the Jets ever going to have a better roster than what they put together right now? Because they're all in to win this year with guys on 1-year deals. Well, next year it's even riskier to bring back said guys on 1-year deals if you don't win this year. Tyron Smith's a year older. Morgan Moses a year older. Mike Williams, what is he? A year older. Like, this is the year, man. So, yeah, if healthy, I think the Jets can definitely win the AFC East. And the other reason for that is what moves have the Dolphins made to improve as a team this offseason? Look at the players they lost. I mean, they lost 2 studs on both lines. A Pro Bowl guard in Robert Hunt, a Pro Bowl defensive tackle in Christian Wilkins. Their big-time pass rushers are coming off injury, so everyone wants to talk about the Jets injury stuff. I mean, the Dolphins' concern should be a lot more than what it's being publicly broadcasted. And the Bills don't have a number one receiver right now. Their best receiver is Curtis Samuel. And yeah, they could draft someone, but chances are who they draft is not going to be as good as Stephon Diggs. But this team's got to win, man, and they're not far away. So I think that's a fair take. We got the sunglasses on for the eclipse. If you call into the show on our Gustbuster hotline, you got to be wearing your solar eclipse glasses. Become an Asmaniac by hitting the join button. You get custom emojis to use in the comments in the live chat. You get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments in the live chat. You get shows released early, bonus shows, your name in the countdown ticker, and a whole lot more. Hit the join button to become an Asmaniac and become a Patreon member for the show in podcast form and Discord access, among the many perks that we offer. Appreciate everyone who is tuned in right now. Show number 2 on the day. Hope everyone enjoyed the Mania last night. This meme was making the rounds on social media with the return of The Undertaker. So I had to share this before we open it up. I got open phone lines available on our Gustbuster hotline. Let's read some comments. As always, if you super chat something, that will be read first before anything else. Nicholas writes in, even Stephen A is a believer. Who would have thought? Right? Who would have thought? Nick D writes in, no doubt Jets have the best roster on paper. Yeah, and look, you know what they say about paper? You could wipe you know what with paper. But all we could do is judge this Jets team based on what they have done this offseason and what the teams around them have done this offseason. And I find it hard to believe. You could argue that the Jets haven't gotten better. I really believe that. So, look, do they got to prove it on the field? Obviously, we all understand that, but these things take time. And for what the Jets needed to do this offseason, they have done it. JJ writes in, is this true, JJ? Jake, I'll see you in Vegas. Can't wait to have a beer with you and watch our Jets pick an offensive lineman. Are you going to be in Vegas for the draft, JJ? If so, I will definitely buy you a drink, my man. Bonesy says, I have no sunglasses, so I can't call him. Bonesy, I will make an exception for you, my man. Jake, my brother. Jake, my brother. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut our line. Shadow Rub says, Jake's just blocking out the haters. If you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, right? That's what Robert M. Sala said. Benny says, what about the Nutbuster hotline? Shout out to Gator, man. The fake Assman show, major success over on his channel. If you're a channel member, I posted it there as well to bring it to your attention. Gator did a great job with that, man. I mean, he basically featured every great caller that's ever called in that show. Tremendous work. Alan says, Dalton Kincaid's Buffalo's number one weapon. Right now, I would agree with you. I think they're going to add a receiver, but we don't know. Ali writes in, as long as we pick Knoble at 10, we will win the division. From your lips to God's ears. Hennessy says, I can't wait to shut up a lot of people. I don't want them hopping on our D word after. Goalpost will continue to be moved. Just know that's how it's going to go. VR says, New York Jets total eclipse of the AFC East. I like that, VR. Inject it into my veins. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline right now is one of the great shoes salesmen to ever do it. Live from Madison Ave, Mr. Bonesy. Hello, Bones.
Hey, Jake, my brother. Jake, my brother.
Bones, should I come over to you to watch this eclipse?
Listen, I'm going to be dead. If you want to come chill, I'm right here, bro. Just make sure you You wear your glasses on the way.
I got them on, man. Although these aren't Eclipse glasses, but I'll make believe they are.
You're looking real crisp, so they look good. Yo, man, that Gators thing was too much. And I don't know if it was the fan favorite. My favorite was definitely Bernard, and when he had the shit on the back going in the TV. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but Gator, and he put time and effort into that, man. Gator is doing the voices, and oh man, he's a guy. He's a guy.
Now here's a guy, to quote Chris Collinsworth. I love it. No, Gator did a great job with that. I mean, everyone who hasn't watched it should definitely check it out. I mean, it was hilarious. His impression for you was so good.
he must have been practicing that for how long, because he said he's been working on me, but that Gator, that guy. So what's good, man? Just another day in Jets. Stephen A. Smith, believing in us, that kind of actually scares me because he normally doesn't know what he's talking about. So when he's believing in us, I'm a little nervous, but it's good. It's good. At least we have somebody in the head of the ESPN backing us, because he's always been an Aaron Rodgers fanboy. He's been saying that since day one. So
100%. I just my whole thing is like, I understand you can't win football games in April, but like for those just dumping all over the Jets, like what Chris Candy said the other day, like, oh, their season's over before it begins because of Rodgers. Like, I almost feel like Aaron Rodgers has kind of become underrated a little bit because he's been out of sight, out of mind. Like, I don't need him to be the MVP of the league for this team to be really good. They won 7 games with no quarterback last year. And like, there's no scenario where Aaron Rodgers is bad. He's at the minimum average, and he's probably going to be well above average. So I don't know. I look at this Jets team, and we haven't even had the draft yet where they could maybe add another big playmaker or another offensive lineman, and we feel excited about. Like, they've done a lot of good this offseason. Like, yeah, the expectation should be to win because they have a really good team.
And on top of that, the old linemen we brought in are smash mouth, in your face, running offensive linemen. So Brees is another year removed from the ACL injury. He looked so good last year behind a depleted offensive line with no quarterback play. So imagine having him with Rodgers at the realm. And like you just said, out of sight and out of mind right now is what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Nobody is giving this man credit. They're automatically saying, oh, he's washed. He's not going to be able to recover from an ACL, from an Achilles. I don't know. I just can't wait. I'm so excited for the draft. It's coming closer and closer, and the freedom we have at 10 just makes it even more intriguing,
Hey, let's go, man. Let's just bring it on. 17 more days, Bones. Are you ready?
Let's go, baby. JETS.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT shoe salesman. Move over, Al Bundy. It's Mr. Bonesy. Up next on the hotline is a man who's ready for the eclipse. Big Game James. Hello, James.
Finally, the big game has come back to the Jake Asman show. The table is set. The smoke is clear. Like thousands and thousands of the Jake Asman fans and like millions and millions of the Jets fans, we are ready for the eclipse. We are ready for the draft. And as my man King Lowski says, we are ready to eclipse that ass in the AFC East. See, I got to stop there. No one can compare to King Lowski. Like you said, running through a wall is the man who we're running through a wall with. And I'm a fitness coach, and I want people to run through a wall for me. But that shout out to the King Lowski. But we are ready to go, baby. If Stephen A. Smith is backing us up, I got to look at your video later. I decided to hop in, then we know something. I wanted to talk to Cole earlier, but I was grocery shopping. I wanted to ask him what was his scouting report on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Did you see WrestleMania this weekend, man?
I watched it last night. I watched the main match. I watched the whole thing.
I didn't watch last night. I watched night one. That was like electrifying. The fact that The Rock is 51 years old, shout out to him and I have the same birthday. But the fact that The Rock is 51 years old and looks like Jack like that, I'm like, damn, I got to live like that when I'm in my 50s. But again, the tables are set. The smoke is clear. The Jets are going to freaking rock the AFC East. And there's 2 things that the 3 other teams can do about it. Absolutely nothing. And like it, Jake. So JETS. Jets, 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 and don't look up in the sun, baby. Rock and roll. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Hey, it's Eclipse time. Big game James is ready. I love it. Shout out to King Lowski. Always. Yeah, we were watching a little WrestleMania last night. I got into it. I mean, anytime you have me sold if you got Stone Cold, The Rock, and John Cena, and Seth Rollins out there. Like, there we go. I love it. John Cena had a great interview today on McAfee's show. I was watching that earlier. VR says, if you smell what James is cooking. I love it. Gary writes in, if you look at the eclipse, nothing will happen. So not only is Gary an expert on quarterbacks, he's also now an eclipse expert. Do we agree, people?
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs. You can do them.
Gator writes in, Jake looks like a new Marvel character, the Ginger Punisher. That's right. Watch out. King Lowski's out there. He gave us a call for the ages earlier. Jorge says, look outside, Jake. There's already a shade to the sunshine. What time is this eclipse thing actually starting? All right. I'm doing this second show early so I could go and experience it. Nick D writes in, yo, Jake, I was doing some homework on receivers last night. I got to say, Brian Thomas Jr. is my guy right now. You think he's there at 10? I do think he's there at 10. I don't know if the Jets view him as a top 10 pick. I know the Jets are visiting with him. So the question is, do they view him as a top 10 pick? Or is he someone they would target in a trade? That's the question. Joining us right now is one of the all-time greats. He doesn't call often, but when he does, he always brings it. Ladies and gentlemen, Rat Diddy. What's up, Rat?
What's going on, my friend? How are
Rat,
things?
You ready for Vegas?
I am. I'll be there. I just saw that JJ's going to be there. I'm excited to meet him. Looks like we're going to get a couple folks out there. That's awesome.
You guys are going to have a big-time debate on the Jets. I already can see it
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, man, how many days till draft?
17.
God, 17 long days. Unbelievable,
Yes,
man. How you doing with the move? Everything good?
Yeah, you know, I the couch was installed on Saturday, and that was big. Now it feels like an apartment that I could actually sit, watch games. I got my desk set up here, so it's coming together. I still need like a bunch of miscellaneous things, but it's on like Amazon back order. So, one day at a time is how I look at it.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. We're having to schedule time to move in, crap into an apartment building. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's all set now, though, thankfully. And honestly,
Awesome.
let me recommend this to anyone out there. If you ever need something built, save yourself the stress. Go on TaskRabbit and just book some of their professionals there. It's like Uber for like handymen, and they just come and they just do it. And you tip them, they do a good job, it saves you the stress. It's relatively cost efficient, and it's just like completely worth it. So I had a guy come over and set up my couch, and because he needed to use the power tools to screw everything in, and it was totally worth it.
Nice. So for Vegas, are you going to be having guests the entire time during draft? Are you going to be live show all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
We're gonna take calls. We're gonna take we're gonna get guests on. I've never done the amount of streaming we're gonna do for 3 consecutive days. We're gonna be live for 4 or 5 hours each day of the drafts. Did we lose Diddy? We lost Rat. But don't worry. Another man who will be joining us in Vegas is actually on the line. JJ. Hello, JJ. Are you actually joining us in Vegas?
Yeah, for sure. I actually got tickets to go see Bill Burr in Phoenix. So I'll go to Vegas first, and then I'll drive out there while I'm out there. So I'll be joining you guys, my friends. Real quick, I'm laughing because yesterday.
Any shot on me, all right?
Yeah. Hey, let's do it. I'm laughing because yesterday I saw that you posted one of your epic rants to a response of my super chat when I was complaining after the team barely survived against the Giants. And the reason it was funny to me is because I was when I said that, I was like, yo, this team looks like it's on the verge of a collapse. And everybody's, oh, you're being negative, you're being negative, you're being negative. If you go back and look at the majority of the things I say, I never criticize the players on the team. I've always criticized Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, and then the one player that I've been criticizing forever is Zach Wilson. How does that really make me a negative Jets fan, to be honest? Those three people have been the cause of the most of our misery for the last 3-4 years. How does that make me negative? I don't get it.
Well, you know how you're negative. Like, you always look at the negative side of things. You called into the show when free agency started 30 minutes in, demanding a splash, and you were pissed. So, like,
But
that's why
everybody wanted a splash. I'm just saying what we're thinking.
yeah,
We need a
but
splash.
you went obviously, but you were like mad that they hadn't done anything yet, and like no one had really done much in the first 30 minutes. Like
I
that's
have
what we're
little
talking about.
patience. I
I
have
get
little
it.
patience for Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh in this regime. I have little patience because it's been how many years already that it's funny that everybody tries to paint me out as this such a negative guy. Oh, I think the team. I am on record saying I think we are going to win the AFC East, and if we don't, then I would be extremely disappointed. I think we have a good chance to win the AFC East. My biggest concern is the head coach. That's it.
Fair. No, what you're saying is fair. How you word it, often it comes across very negative and like not rational. Like, yes, now you've had some time to like see the plan this offseason, you become more rational. Fair. But it's how you go about it that makes people think you're very negative. Now, I will defend you from this standpoint. You always call in and you are a season ticket holder, so I know you're truly a Jet fan. You just happen to be a very negative one. That's fine.
Well, and here's the thing I'll say about the season ticket holder thing, right? That means nothing. That's just something that I always wanted. But the bigger point is, right, when you go to every single freaking game, right? You guys think I'm negative. You should see the other season ticket holders in my section, the type of things that they say. I'm actually, if you ever sat next to these guys that I sit by, you would. I remember one game, this guy started screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm done with this effing team." I don't go that far, right? I just, call this show and complain. But when you go to every game and you just see the same results over and over again, yeah, you get a little bit of callous on your heart and lack sympathy sometimes. So it's funny that you guys call me negative. I'm not defending myself because I like having the title. I think Peter is way more negative than me.
No, he's bipolar. He's bipolar. He has the audacity to say they're going to win 14 games in spite of Robert Saleh. I'm like, Peter, Robert Saleh is the coach of the year if they win 14 games.
Well, I mean, I agree with you on that one, but 14 games. I mean, I hope so, but the AFC East at the bare minimum. I mean, that's the bare minimum next year. AFC East and at least one playoff win. If not, then it was a failure of a season. I know Robert Saleh said, "I'll never say anything is a failure, even if we lose every game." I know, I'm a loser. Joey D's a loser. Everyone's a loser. But if we don't win at least one playoff game and the AFC East, it was complete failure.
I'll see you in Vegas, JJ. Excellent call for the most part. That's not what Saleh said. It's not a failure even if we lose every game. That's not what he said. You just completely twisted his words. Well done. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is a man that was in our witness protection program, but he has survived. He is as high as the Empire State Building right now. Weed the People has called in. Weed, good afternoon.
Hey, Jake, how are you? I missed you guys.
Where have you been, Weed? We have missed you tremendously.
I'm in the low country of Georgia, hating the food.
Well, you got to get some like Raising Cane's or something down there. Chick-fil-A, like just take full advantage.
I've tried a couple of pretty decent places, not too bad. Waffle House for the first time I had it, pretty damn good, not gonna lie.
Yep. What'd you get?
Chicken waffles.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
How long are you in Georgia for, Weed? Is that your new reality?
For the foreseeable future, yeah, for now. Trying to try something new. But I might go back to Jersey in a couple months. We'll see what happens.
You better be at the home opener, Weed. We got to run it back like last year.
I am considering flying back for that, especially, for sure. I'll be there Memorial Day weekend for my birthday, but I'm considering flying back for week one.
I can't wait to see you, Weed.
I'm a little apprehensive because I went for week one and Roger go down, so I'm wondering maybe I jinxed it a little bit.
Well,
so I can't see shit with these sunglasses on.
Well, you normally can't see anyway because it's typically very smoky in your room.
I know. I've been working on it, but this room has a lot of windows.
Is weed legal in Georgia? I don't think it is.
It is not. It's been a nightmare trying to get a connection. Been a nightmare.
Well, I'm sure someone off air could maybe reach out, but I'm not endorsing it. I want to make it very clear to YouTube. I'm not saying anything.
Well, I am nice and stone ready for the eclipse. It's symbolic. It symbolizes the rebirth of the New York Jets. Plus,
Or the end of the New York Jets. The Jets are about to be good, and we're not even going to get to see it.
Plus, I just tricked my nephew. I told him to go outside and look at the sun and tell me if the eclipse started. His dumbass did it. But cheers, Jake.
Weed. Good to have you back, brother.
Wait. I'm not done.
Here we go. Weed. Thank you very much. Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, weed the people. James writes in, JJ and Jake, I love you both, but you two drinking might go into a debacle and fight in Vegas. Drink responsibly. Yeah, look, I'm a fan of JJ. Despite our battles, I appreciate the fact that he always posts. He comes in. He answers the call. We've had our battles over the years. This one was my favorite one. Hit the join button on the left-hand side if you're watching from your computer. JJ with a super chat. You said we're judged on W's and L's. If I bring up how many W's Salah has, you say context matter. Context, we look like a bad team after the bye. Yeah, JJ, I understand that. What do you want me to say? I'm killing them for how they played today. I'm acknowledging they stole this one. So you want me to sit here? You want to fire Robert Saleh when the team's 4-3? What do you want me to say? They did not play well today, but they won. All right? So I'm not going to sit here and do doom and gloom when they have a win over the Eagles this year, a win over the Bills. They nearly beat the Chiefs. And by the way, they're 4-3. They have a winning record. I'm not giving up on the season or firing the head coach when they are 4-3. One more time. 4-3. They won today. God. What a dumb comment. What do you want me to say? Salah's Vince Lombardi. We know there are limitations with this head coach. We understand that this team is still a work in progress. He's also playing with his backup quarterback. All right? He didn't pick Zach Wilson. He's supposed to have Aaron Rodgers. God. Oh, my God. I need to take a sip of water or get some alcohol on me. Stand by. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. A classic JJ battle. And there'll be more of them. You know, the first 3 and out in the preseason, JJ's going to be calling in saying, fire everyone, tank the season. So get ready. Rat Diddy says the eclipse killed my phone. Yeah, we lost you, Rat Diddy, but your point was well received. Bill Walton checks in. Jake, what brought you to Texas in the first place? I hosted an afternoon drive show on ESPN Houston. So I went down there for work. Rat Diddy with a super chat, as I just read his other comments. Cha-ching. God, work calls, KO'd my phone call. Listen, I plan on feeding you boozes during your entire draft class. I want rants like that one in Vegas. LOL. Oh, there'll be rants, Rat Diddy. Don't you worry. We're going to have a blast, man. It's going to be fun. A man who has called in who will be by my side in Las Vegas, assisting with the production of our draft megacast, is the great Gator McCluskey, also known as Fake Ass Man. Gator, hello.
I felt the need to call in because everybody else going to Vegas called in, and then I had to scramble to find sunglasses, but here I am. I'm looking forward to it, man.
You kind of look like Neo from The Matrix with those glasses on.
Well, you and I will start the Avengers, and we'll have to turn Rat Diddy into some kind of Avenger. He's got to protect us against JJ, man. I'm a little concerned now that he's going to be out there.
I mean, between JJ, Rat Diddy, and you, we have an eclectic group of personalities that are going to be on site.
And Cole, you got to keep Cole way away from me. I don't want him to touch me and like any of his like dorkiness rub off on me. That'll freak me out.
He won't be there in person. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Yep.
That's close.
Yep. I got you.
I did want to tell you a quick story. So I had this Fake Ass Man thing mostly done on Saturday, and I just had to edit a few things together in the hopes of getting it out on Sunday. And my wife came to me midday. She's like, we need to go here or there. So I got in the car and I ended up listening to your show in the car, which I torture her with, even though, not to say she's not a fan, she just doesn't get it. But so when I was editing the piece, the Dano piece, I was going to cut it because I didn't have anything that good. The only thing I had is I knew every time he called in, his phone would sometimes be going in and out, or it'd be super loud. That was a big thing. It's super loud when he called in. So I'm like, I'll try to work something in. So anyway, I was going to cut it. I'm in the car, and his call came up with the burping and the farting and the frog noises. My wife was hysterical laughing because I had it coming through the stereo in the car, so it was really amplified. And when those sounds were kicking in, she started laughing, and then when you reacted to it afterwards, she started laughing. She was hysterical in the car, and in that moment, I said to myself, "Well, that just wrote itself." Now Dano's back into it. So all I did, I took the existing Dano piece and I just cut in the sounds, man, and that one there was fun, man. I laughed so hard at your reaction to his and all the comments that were coming in. Oh my God, that was so funny.
The comments were incredible during that. It just shows you. It doesn't matter how old you are. There's always a place in every person's heart to laugh at a fart joke.
Oh, it's the greatest. It's the greatest. If you ask women, they would disagree with you because it's really just us men that laugh at them. But I'm sure there's a select few.
Your wife was laughing, though. She got a kick out of it.
I think she was laughing more at you, because your face, I wasn't watching you because in the car, she was kind of watching it. I was just listening. And she was laughing at your face because you were just, you go down like this, like what's going on, but you're not ready to react to it. Too funny.
So the viewership for Fake Ass Man episode 1, I mean, off the charts. Feedback's been great. So many people have messaged me asking about it. So when's episode 2, Gator? That's what people want to know.
Well, Rat's been bugging me about it, and I'm like, because I wasn't planning on doing it that quick. But I do have a whole list of people now for the second episode because I'm thrilled at how well it's done and how great the comments have been, and everybody's been so positive and all. So yeah, we're gonna definitely bring a few back, and I've got a bunch new to add. So I started collecting clips and going through old shows, and I'm hoping that maybe this week some people will call in and inspire me, because that's how it all happens, right? I just watch your show and then it's like, boom, there's one. Got to put that one in the catalog library. Get it ready.
That's great.
I mean, I got what's his name. The only thing, spoiler alert, is I do have the guy with the shorts, Edward Ziff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know what to do with that one, to be honest with you.
And we're calling in and his damn tidy whiteys. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, everything I come up with on that one is not going to get by the censors. So,
well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm excited. I'm excited for episode 2. If you haven't watched episode 1, it's on Gator Sports YouTube channel. Check it out. It's hilarious.
At Gator Jets. It's at Gator Jets, and the channel's called Gator Sports. But you'll find it. Just search for Fake Asman show, and damn, it'll come up.
Comes right up.
Sorry, man. I really didn't think anyone was going to watch this thing, but unfortunately for you, you're going to have to deal with people calling you that, I guess.
I love it. You keep up the great work. All right.
You will have to call in to episode 2, by the way.
Well, am I going to be calling in as myself, or you're going to AI me?
No, you're going to call in as yourself, and you're going to vent all your frustrations on me.
Okay. I'll be ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Gator McCluskey, hit the Gator emoji. Gator's got his own emoji if you're an Asmaniac. We're still looking for new members. We've gained 0 this episode. I think we're like 30 away from being able to add another emoji. Jorge says, Eclipse Jake is different. Yeah, man. I mean, we're ready for that eclipse, man. I'm just trying to follow what my quarterback was doing. All right. William writes in. William's a great caller. Jets fans are the most loyal fans of any in the 4 major sports. Let's go, Jet fans. Amen, William. We are. We really are. Gary writes in, going outside to look at the eclipse will take many looks directly at the eclipse and nothing will happen. Man, I'm not rooting for Gary to go blind, but it would be very fun.
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs. You can do music.
Pittsburgh Mike writes in, just look at the eclipse. Just looked at the eclipse. I'm blind now. Thoughts and prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the line right now is a man who has never crashed his truck. Dirty joins us now. Hello, Dirty.
And I only crashed once. Apparently I made it back thanks to Gator. So thank you, Gator. I will have to be looking at the fake Asman show, which I hear gets a lot of views. And just so we are clear, I made sure I came prepared, and we're good to roll today. Now, I can see nothing through these sunglasses. That's why I am now stopped.
Well, I appreciate you thinking about your well-being.
Of course, but I will say this. Stephen A., I have never taken this man serious in my life. He's the one that says that the New Jersey Turnpike smells because of the Jets locker room, and then we continued to go into Pittsburgh and take a W in Pittsburgh, which is his team. He always has something bad about the Jets to say. He's entertainment. That's all he is. I will never take that man serious.
Well, that's how you should view all the hot takers, right? I mean, they're there to entertain. Their sports talk opinion. It's not gospel at the end of the day.
No, not at all. But I am excited. Getting closer and closer to this draft. I really do think that we will be telling you I think it's gonna be an immediate weapon here. I really do. I hope so. I won't be mad with anything that they pick because they're all gonna be great picks. But I would like to see a wide receiver. That'd be really, really cool.
Let's let it rip, Dirty. I love it. The New York Jets select wide receiver Rome Odunze. Ladies and gentlemen, Rat Diddy has given the gift of 5 channel memberships. So congrats are in order. But before we say congrats, we simply say this.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
The following 5 listeners just became as maniacs. Kilksey, Jaden D'Angelo, Stephen Craig, Molin Lave, and Sylv. You were just gifted as maniac memberships, courtesy of the Rat Diddy. Awesome gesture by Rat Diddy. So now I think we're within 25 memberships of a new emoji, which is sweet. Keep rolling here. Peter writes in, here we go. With Rodgers on the field, 17 games, we win the division easily. Tyrod, excellent too. Yeah, but what about Saleh, Peter? Robert Saleh is the worst coach of all time, according to you. Adam writes in, just curious, that 11% in the poll who think the Jets do not have the best roster in the East, who does? So we ran a poll for today's show. Which team has the best roster in the East? The question was, do the Jets have the best roster in the AFC East? 90% have said yes. 10% have said no. Who are the 5%, or excuse me, the 10% that are saying no? That's a fair question. And would you say it's Buffalo or Miami? I think I would probably say Miami, but Buffalo's got the better quarterback. So I don't know. Rick Kent checks in with 5 memberships. Wow, unbelievable gesture here by Rick, who is gifted 5 memberships, 5 as maniac memberships.
Money.
The following listeners just became as maniacs. Cactus Johnny, Lawrence Yance, Sharp Instincts, Freddie McKnight, and Nate. Make sure you say thank you to the great Rick Kent. Love everyone paying it forward here. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll see what you guys are thinking. Dave says Peter is a schizophrenic. 14-3, according to Peter. In spite of Robert Saleh. That's my favorite line ever. The Jets Carpetbagger says, my brother's live streaming the eclipse from Texas. Are trying to do two things at once. What exactly do you do in a live stream for an eclipse? It becomes dark, and then what? What do you talk about? Hey, guys, it's still dark. Like, then what? Like, I talk for a living, and I think I would struggle on what to specifically talk about. Lawrence, who just became an Asmaniac, writes in. Rodgers has never had a first-round wide receiver ever, and now he may have three on the field at the same time. What do you think that makes for? Well, I think it all depends on, like, how they play, right? Like, you could be a first-round pick, but you could suck. You know what I mean? Like, Devontae Adams wasn't a first-round pick. Aaron Rodgers did just fine with him. Jordy Elson wasn't a first-round pick. Aaron Rodgers did just fine with him. So, look, I think if you tell me the Jets could get Rome Odunze and add him to Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams with Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert and Breece Hall out of the backfield, you know what I think Aaron Rodgers could do? I think Aaron Rodgers could once again play like a top 10, if not better, quarterback in football this year. His arm is still great. His mind is still great. His protection in front of him, in theory, is very solid. I mean, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is washed. I think actually a year away from football not getting hit maybe helps his body. How do we know it doesn't? That should be considered too. Adam says, I can't figure out how to gift membership. So very easy. If you hit the super chat button on the right, Adam, there's a button that says gift channel memberships. I'm actually going to post a link in the live chat right now so people could click it if they're curious, but it walks you through it. Rick says, I think I'm the only person in America who doesn't care about the eclipse. I don't even remember the 2017 one. I guess because it was like a partial eclipse. I don't know. I'm going to end the poll, by the way, for do the Jets have the best roster in the AFC East? 324 people voted. 90% said yes. I bet you if we did this poll on a Dolphins or Bills channel and asked the same question with their team, it'd be the same results. But you got that. Nick says, you think QB3 will be a rookie? I do. I think the Jets are drafting a quarterback on day 3. They've done some homework on all the top quarterbacks. I could tell you firsthand that they are very interested in Spencer Rattler. They're interested in Michael Pratt. They're also interested in Jordan Travis. So that's been documented. They had a top 30 visit scheduled with Jordan Travis. They did a private workout with Michael Pratt. They also met with him at the Senior Bowl and at his pro day. Rattler, they did a Senior Bowl meeting and a pro day meeting and had a private workout. They did a private workout with Keaton Slovis. They've done their homework on the day 3 guys. Dave writes in, if the Jets take a Odunze over an offensive tackle in the first round, I'm okay with it, but not Bowers. I can't stomach the Bauer boy takes. I get it. Hawk writes in, my sources tell me they aren't interested in any of the quarterbacks Jake listed, just a smokescreen. Interesting you would say that, Hawk. Very interesting. My sources tell me Zach Wilson stinks.
We're always having fun, Rob. We're done being stressed about football.
Let's keep it rolling. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in. Today's show is presented by our friends at Circa Resort and Casino. You heard us talking about Vegas earlier. CircaLasVegas.com. Book your stay this summer. Book your stay in the fall. Largest indoor and outdoor sports book located right on Fremont Street. You are near everything. You get the full Vegas experience. CircaLasVegas.com. Check it out, and you will not regret your stay there. Someone who's probably stayed at Circa now close to 10 times. I'll have to actually count how many. I'm telling you, you're not gonna want to miss this. Check it out. Full draft coverage Thursday, Friday, and Saturday during the draft right here on this channel, live from Circa. We the People writes in, Jake, what would your reaction be if we roll into the season with Zach Wilson as QB3? What would my reaction be? I mean, it would sound something like this.
Let me start with the quarterback. All right, I'm going to get into it. We'll take your calls. I'm sure the Zach truthers will try and make excuses for Zach Wilson. Enough. He sucked. He was god-awful. And tonight was Zach Wilson's last start as the Jet quarterback ever. Barring injury, he's done. I'm sorry. I hate saying it. It's not personal. He seems like a nice kid. He's not the answer. He's not. Sorry. I don't want to hear any other takeaway from this game. You want to blame the offensive line? Sure, blame them. They were not good tonight. You want to blame the defense? That's the laziest take, and we're not allowing it. The defense allowed 19 points. That's a bad effort. They're on the field the entire game because this quarterback stinks. And I like Zach Wilson. I've defended Zach Wilson. I've tried to be patient with Zach Wilson, but it's enough. Zach Wilson truthers, he stinks. The guy is terrible. He stinks. All right? Stop defending him. He's got the lowest passer rating in the NFL this season. The lowest completion percentage in the NFL this season. He had the lowest passer rating in the NFL last season. He had the lowest completion percentage in the NFL last season. He hasn't gotten better. I was patient with Zach because he does have talent. Because he does have potential. But it's not working. It is not working. He is not the guy. This team is too good to be 7-8. All right, this defense had a, quote, bad game. They give up 19 points. 19. How dare the defense do anything? Come on, man. The quarterback stinks. He's not the guy. He has not improved. He has not gotten better. He is the same quarterback we saw last year. I defended him last year because we saw flashes. You see that from rookies. Then they get better. You know who got better? Trevor Lawrence got better. All right, watching some of the throws he made tonight. You know who got better? Justin Fields got better. Zach Wilson hasn't gotten better, period. You need your quarterback to make plays. They had 3 points against a Jaguars defense that allows over 23 a game. They're a bottom third defense. You're at home. Your season's on the line. And you scored 3 freaking points. Enough. I'm not dealing with the Zach Wilson truthers. If you're a Zach Wilson truther, you're out. You're not on the show. You're gone. We're not doing it. If your takeaway from this game is not that the quarterback is holding this team back, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. Seek help. I know I need help because I sat in MetLife and I'm going to have pneumonia from this garbage. Enough.
Yeah, that would be my reaction if they didn't get rid of Zach Wilson. And it's not even personal. I can't do it. It's enough. Ali writes in, Ali became a Patreon member earlier. He signed up for the year. We love you, Ali. The only thing I look forward to from the game is that I knew a rant was coming. I mean, I literally did that show drenched in the rain. That was the angriest I've ever been leaving MetLife. By far. Oh, my God. As Rat Diddy remembers, I ranted till I lost power. Yep, I had no outlet. So when my laptop was going to die, that was it. It was like a 45-minute post-game show. And typically, our post-game shows are a couple hours long because we go until the super chats or the calls stop. Adam has gifted a channel membership. Wow. Well done, Adam. Let's see who got your membership. Johnny was gifted a membership. Johnny Jimenez. How about that? Make sure you thank Adam, Johnny. He came through in the clutch for you. That's pretty cool. Peter Castro writes in, bipolar, Jake. Zach does stink, but you having a heart attack. I am not bipolar, Peter. I am a Jet fan. You, my friend, are very bipolar. One day the Jets are going to lose every game, and then the next day they're going to win the division. So I don't know. I do know this about Peter Castro, though. My man loves himself the New York Jets.
Our coaching staff stinks. The team is never prepared. They're undisciplined. They make a million mistakes. And the coaching staff is terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. Hackett and him are like having two drug addicts on the sidelines. They're no good. And if Rodgers doesn't fix this, we're all going to kill ourselves. What happens after Rodgers? They have no plan for that. It's going to be 10 more years of being shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Castro. Now, I see that once again, Adam has come through with yet another membership for somebody. So let's give some love to Lawrence Rubin, who just became an Asmaniac, courtesy of Adam as well. Shout out to him. Shadow Realm writes in, if the Vikings like J.J. McCarthy as much as people anticipate, one of those wide receivers have to fall, right? Well, the key with all of this is Minnesota trading up to get a quarterback. Because here to me is the best case to the top 10. You ready? Quarterback, 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 quarterback. Marvin at 5. Neighbors at 6. Titans take offensive linemen. At 8, Dallas Turner goes to Atlanta. At 9, either another defensive player or a lineman goes to the Bears, and Adunze's there at 10. I texted with someone that covers the Bears today because I wanted to get a feel for Chicago, and this is what this person wrote to me. This guy works for the Bears flagship ESPN 1000. I go, what's the feeling for what Bears did with number 9 pick? He goes, there's really no consensus line of thinking, but receiver or offensive tackle are the most common, with trade back and defensive end following behind. Let's hope the Bears love Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, whoever Atlanta doesn't pick. Or the Jets say, F it, and they get to Atlanta at 8, and they get a Dunze. That's the path. That'd be great. Adam says, I also stuck up for Zach until he passed for 70 yards against the Pats. The second Patriot game of the 2022 season was the last stand for me and Zach Wilson. It was over at that point. It was over. Belichick broke him for the second time in 2 games. It was done. At that point, it was time. And then the post-game press conference killed him. They went to Mike White. The offense looked amazing. And I'm like, they can't ever go back to him. It's over. And then Mike White got hurt. NYJYK Keith writes in, Kuiper's predicting Bo Nix and Penix to go in the first. Did you see that? Yeah, I mean, look, it's plausible that 5 or 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. Lee says Hackett's like having a Chuggadatic on the sidelines. Classic Peter Castro. Dave says Zach doomed himself. He must go ASAP. He has negative value. Yeah, I mean, he obviously has no value. He's still on the Jets, and it's April 8th. He's been available since late December, if we're being honest. All right, some breaking news here, people. Let's go to our live feed in Dallas, where the eclipse has arrived. Unbelievable what we're watching right now, folks. I can't believe this eclipse is actually happening the way it's just completely changed our show. I mean, if this is what it's like in Dallas, what's it going to be like in New York in a couple minutes? Is it minutes or hours? I mean, this eclipse is crazy. Wow. I feel like I'm with Aaron Rodgers in a darkness retreat. I really miss the sun. All right, let's go back to our New York studios for the rest of the show. We're back. Whoa. Hey now. Whoa. It's unbelievable. Last chance to get in. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. Let's go back to Dallas real quick. Let's see if anything's changed. Whoa. Holy eclipse. Gary, I wouldn't look at this eclipse right now. All right, Gary, you're in for it. Careful there, Gary. Concerned about you.
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs.
Oh, hey now. Let me adjust my camera here. The eclipse is attacking. Gary's at the hospital, says Rat Diddy. Yep. Pittsburgh Mike says, Jets Social say they'll be introducing new green and black alternate jerseys. Wondering if that means white legacy jerseys will be exactly as we saw them last year. I'd like a logo on the chest. My understanding from what I have been told by people when I reported on this a couple months ago, the white jerseys they wore last year are remaining unchanged. Now, maybe they changed their mind and they will add the logo to it. Where are you putting it, though? On the front or the back? Shadow Realm says, knockouts don't matter if your enemy's blind in both eyes. Yeah, tell that to Gary. You're right. You're right about that. VR says, I put the logo on my arm. VR got a tattoo of the Jet new logo, which is actually the old logo, and it was tremendous. He called in earlier to show it up, and he put it in our Discord. He also tweeted it, and it went viral on Twitter, so that was awesome. All right, I got time for one more call, then it's Eclipse time. We'll go back to Dallas before we wrap up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward has called in. Hello, Edward. Edward? Edward, I can't hear you. I think you had your mic high. You didn't lower the mic. Your mic was by your ear. You got to lower it. I think that's what happened there, but Edward's phone was eclipsing, says VR. God. That's too funny. At least he was wearing pants from what we could tell. I guess we don't really know. Hawk says he moved the clone. Yeah, I did notice that. Gator says Edward Speedo Ziff. That is Edward's new name until we come up with something otherwise. While we wait for Edward to call back, let's go back to Dallas for an eclipse update. Holy crap, it's still going. Whoa. And back to New York. Let's see. NYJ says, have you been to Harlem for food yet? Not yet, but I will eventually make it up there. I did read a great story that Juan Soto and Gleyber Torres went to Washington Heights to get some Latin food late at night before the Yankees home opener last week, which is pretty cool. I think it was The Athletic that wrote a story about that. Rick says that was Ed's best call. I don't know. His call with in the Tidy Whities on, was that Saturday or Sunday, was pretty funny. Tom says, did I stare at the sun too long, or is this the third live show of the day? This is the second live show of the day. This is the first show of the day where we have live eclipse updates. So let's go back to Dallas. Pretty crazy what's happening. And back to New York. All right. Let's see. Edward would like to clarify red boxer briefs. LOL. Too funny. All right. On that note, I want to thank everyone. Sign up for the Patreon. Become an Asmaniac. It is the best way to support our show. Get your solar eclipse glasses on. Robbie Sabo will join us tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And by the way, any Ranger or Islander fans headed to UBS tomorrow night, I will be in the building. Let's go Islanders. BR says, the Jake Asman show where you can see the live eclipse over and over. That's right. You tell me the show that's going to give you an eclipse update like we have. No Jet YouTube show is covering the eclipse quite like this one. Anyway, I appreciate everyone for their support. Since we didn't get a V-Man call today, I know what we need to end on. I'll talk to you guys soon. JETS, Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
The super chat's always cut the line. And the boy-hello dancer's really fine. When she's so chucking and back them jets. My senorita, you know she gets real happy. Real happy if that female that doesn't rhyme. Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.